Hey, I'm Avenger, and this is a Pokemon review, where I review the Kanto series of Pokemon, the one I'm most familiar with, also known as Epibo Plateau, where Ash tries to earn his 8 badges, just starting out with a Pikachu. I am shocked about how little content reviews there is about this series on the internet and on YouTube, so I plan to change that by doing an episode by episode review, going 1 through however many episodes are in the series of the Kanto region, and if I get farther, I get farther. But here it is with episode 1. I choose you. This is the best way to start out a series. Pokemon didn't mess around. It started out with a Pokemon battle between Nidorino and Gengar. It was so awesome. The animation was perfect at the time for this cartoon of the time in the 90s, and I was so excited, like this crowd is right here. And I just thought that the Gengar and Nidorino battle would be awesome. Even though I didn't know who these Pokemon were, I didn't know what Gengar is doing right now. Hypnosis, I didn't know that move. I never played the game before, but it was awesome. I didn't even understand how this Pokemon went back into this ball like this. But whatever. I was so excited, like how Ash is excited right now. This is our first experience with Ash. He's a Pokemaniac. He has stuff all around his room. Pokemon, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur poster right there. And a fairy pea bank, it looks like. And a Voltorb clock. Can't forget that. So he pretends that he's going on his Pokemon journey. And he wants to be a Pokemon master like he always talks about. So he gets of his Voltorb clock to throw it around like it's a Pokeball, but then you're reminding he's a child because his mom tells him that it's time for him to go to bed. But of course he can't sleep because he has a great big day tomorrow. He's going out on his own at 10 years old. So he watches this intro by Professor Oak about what 3 Pokemon he can have as a starter for tomorrow, as long as he wakes up. And Ash is, of course, so excited. He dreams about catching all the Pokemon, or at least having the 3 starters. And he gets so excited, he knocks down his clock, and he pretends that his clock is a Pokeball, and sadly, he breaks it, pretending that he has a Squirrel. And so that he broke his clock, he doesn't get up in the morning. So he has to rush to Professor Oak's house to get a Pokemon in his pajamas, which is kind of embarrassing because he has to go past Gary's cheerleaders, and he trips right into Gary. And Gary is obviously mean to him like he always is in this series, and gloats, and he's just pompous and everything like that, which I'm kind of surprised right now. They talk about meeting each other, and I thought Pallet Town was a very small town. I thought they would probably met before. In the game, it seems like they met each other, know each other, but Gary gives Ash the pleasure right here of introducing himself. So Ash knows Gary now, and Gary can rub it in his face in the other times that they see each other in the series. Because in this series, of course, Gary is always one step ahead. But he's a little privileged because he's the grandson of Professor Oak, so he probably knows a little bit more. So cool, Gary drives off in his convertible, and Ash struggles to find another Pokemon since Gary only has a Squirtle. And Professor Oak really just meshes with Ash here. I don't know why he does it, but he knows that all the Pokemon have been picked, but he still lets Ash open all the Pokeballs anyways, which is kind of messed up. He kind of messes with him, and he gives us this like defective Pikachu that tries to kill Ash right here. And he's just doesn't listen at all to Ash, even though he is barely starting out with Ash as a new trainer. So Professor Oak gives Ash the Pokédex and the Pokeballs, which will be very helpful to him in the whole series. And Pikachu once again tries to kill Ash and Professor Oak. And then Pikachu again is not listening. And at least they think that Pikachu is playing a game right there. That's what his mom says. So Ash isn't so embarrassed. But yeah, Pikachu is really not listening. He's a stubborn Pokemon. Ash tries to prove that he has some kind of control over Pikachu right here, but it doesn't work. And Pikachu tries to electrify and kill everybody in the... So I like this part so far, that Pikachu is very resistant to Ash, and I like how it starts out with this, that their friendship starts out with Pikachu being resistant and not wanting to do anything Ash says. I think that's a very good part of the plot. Some of the best friends started out as enemies at first. Really? Who's that Pokemon? I know this is made for little kids, but can't anybody guess that this is Pikachu? This is the one and only Pokemon they've really introduced in this show so far, so I think most people would know that this is Pikachu. Back in the main story, the story is picking up, and I'm liking it right here. I think that the action going on is pretty cool. Ash is trying to catch more Pokemon, but Pikachu is refusing to help one bit. And so Ash is hoping that he can just throw a Pokeball at a Pidgey and get it. But of course, it's not working. And I like how in this episode, you really see Ash's learning process And Pikachu is just totally laughing at him. I like that. I think it's so funny that Pikachu's so anti-Ash in this episode. This is just like a 10 out of 10 for comedy with Pikachu laughing, because he's just such a little cute Pokemon, and he's laughing at Ash. He just thinks it's so funny. Which I think Ash would have had a little more knowledge. Like maybe he went to a course or something before he just went out to the wild how to catch Pokemon. There might have even been a course about how to catch Pokemon without a Pokemon to attack it with, or without even a Pokeball. But Ash always improvises, and he has his own way of doing things. So right here, it's pretty funny. It's really comical that he tries to catch the Pidgey with a shirt right there, because Pikachu refuses to do anything for him. And these Pidgeys are all pretty much kind of laughing at him, I bet. And he misses the Pidgey with the rock, and that turns out to be a fatal mistake, because he hits a Sparrow, and he makes them angry. Well, actually, he hits the Sparrow right here and makes him angry, whatever. But the Sparrow is hit nonetheless. And so the tides are turned for Ash. Ash is now in real trouble. And the Sparrow tries to attack Pikachu, and Pikachu was only looking out for himself. And so he shocks the Sparrow, and it's pretty awesome. You actually get to see Pikachu's powers for the first time here, and he electrifies that Sparrow, and it's super effective. And then they totally make all the other Sparrow, probably the whole world, mad. This is pretty epic right here. Ash and Pikachu run away from like 100 Sparrow, and Ash is like so mad at Pikachu that he wants them to come back, but Pikachu is getting chased way ahead. And I think it's so fun that they have such a hate relationship right now. So Ash jumps in the water, and he tries to fly away or swim away with Pikachu. He's still trying to save Pikachu in, though Pikachu seems to hate him. And then we meet another main character, Misty, right here. Misty somehow has some strength to pull Ash in with a fishing rod right there. And she's more worried about Pikachu than Ash. And I just like people like this. I know people that are more worried about animals than humans, because animals really can't protect themselves. So she's the same. She's worried more about the Pikachus. Like, why does this Pikachu hurt so much? I think it's just funny how Ash and Misty's relationship starts, because Misty will be a recurring character. She sees some stuff is going down, and she has that look on her face of like, what the hell is going on? And so Ash takes advantage of that and takes the bike along with Pikachu to get him to the Pokemon Center, which is a wise move. And then it's pretty epic that the Sparrow are all trying to peck and eat at Ash. And Ash, even though Pikachu has hated him the whole time, really tries to save him. He tries to crawl up to Pikachu and put him in the Pokeball so he can be safe. And so this is the first badass moment from Pikachu after this. The Pikachu could go in the Pokeball and just be safe, because Ash is begging him to. He wants him to be able to not be eaten by all the Sparrows and pecked to death, but Pikachu refuses, and then he does his super awesome move. While Ash is trying to protect Pikachu any way he can from the Sparrow, he puts himself in front of Pikachu, truly being selfless. Pikachu jumps up and shocks the heck out of all these Sparrow. He takes all his electric energy and causes an electric storm. This electric attack was helped by the fact that Pikachu was in a lot of water, and water, of course, it conducts electricity, but Pikachu was just so awesome because he didn't want to get back in the Pokeball. His life was on the line, but he still refused to get back in the Pokeball, and that just shows how determined and stubborn Pikachu is. And right here it shows that maybe a friendship is blooming between Ash and Pikachu, because there's a silver lining rainbow going by as they're walking into Viridian City. And I think this was a great episode. I really think that is a great start to the series. It wasn't too childish, it wasn't too adult, so like both the children and adults could enjoy it. And I gotta mention the ho-ho right here, of course. This was supposed to be good luck for Ash, and he saw it and he didn't recognize what it was, and so he thought it was great luck. But I love this opening because it has a good big mix of action and plot, and I love the end where Pikachu destroys all the pharaohs. So I would think this episode was probably a 10 out of 10. It was one of the greater episodes of the series, and really it started off with a bang and made a lot of Pokemaniacs of kids in the 90s. So I think this is an episode really worth watching if you have the time, and this would be one of my top episodes of the Indigo Plateau. So this is Avenger. I've been reviewing the first episode of Pokemon. Please like, subscribe, and support my channel if you may, if you want to. If you don't, just please keep watching, because I love to see you guys watch, and I love to see you guys comment. Please comment if you would like to see anything more. Thank you for watching.